AM Extra is watching out for you ahead of the holidays as many families plan to bring back family gatherings this year after a lot of people didn't do it last year because of the pandemic.
But you may still be wondering about the safety guidelines when it comes to who it's okay to be around with or without masks and how to do this safely. Joining us now to break it all down this morning is the Chief Medical Officer at Walgreens, Dr. Kevin Ban. Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, good morning, Emily. Ken, thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of questions that families are wrestling with right now, namely, should they go and vaccinate their kids? We've seen these child dose vaccines come online. Why is it important to be looking at getting children vaccinated, especially with the holidays right around the corner?
Without question, the best thing to do, the best way to protect your child is to have your child vaccinated. You know, the data is very clear on this. You know, there's chatter that people talk about protecting people who are more vulnerable, about, decreasing school outbreaks. But the single truth is that the benefits outweigh the risks of being vaccinated. So if you want to keep your child safe, the best thing to do is to get the shot.
What do you think about booster shots? I know that I just got my booster shot over the weekend, and now that everybody is eligible to get those, what is Walgreens' stance on that?
Yeah, I mean, this is just the science. We know that the immunity will wane. That's normal. We expect it. We see it every year for flu, and we're seeing the same thing for the COVID vaccination. So when you become eligible, and Emily was talking about that, it's 6 months after the last vaccination for your Moderna shot, for your Pfizer shot. It's 2 months after your J&J vaccine. Go ahead and get boosted. There's not urgency. You don't need to go out this minute. In fact, why don't you go ahead and schedule the appointment? You can go to Walgreens.com. You can go to 1-800 or call 1-800-WALGREENS. Schedule the appointment. Get it on your calendar. Make it easy.
So what are some of the things that people need to consider for Thanksgiving here? Maybe they've got children who have started their vaccine process but are not fully vaccinated yet. You might have family members who can't get vaccinated or have chose not to get vaccinated yet. Is it safe to gather with friends and family? What do people need to know?
Right. So let's start with people who are fully vaccinated. If at your family gathering everyone is vaccinated, I say go ahead and enjoy it. You don't need to do much more. No masks, no testing. But to your point, if there are people who are unvaccinated or not completely or fully vaccinated, or maybe there are people who are really high risk, then consider testing. You know, within 3 days of the gathering, go ahead and get tested. And that will help identify anyone who might have the infection so they can stay home, and it'll decrease the spread.
Who should wear a mask or not wear a mask in this situation?
But what I would say is that it's never wrong to wear a mask, okay? Masks decrease the spread of virus. Now, if everyone's fully vaccinated, then I don't think it's necessary to wear a mask. But like I said, if people are unvaccinated, maybe not fully vaccinated, if there are folks in the group, maybe grandparents who are older, have chronic medical problems, then of course wearing a mask is yet another thing that you can do to keep people safe.
How about person limits in crowd size here? I mean, when the pandemic first really ramped up last year, we were talking about having your pandemic pod and not getting together with people outside of your household, or only 6 to 8 people. Are there suggested people limits in this case right now?
You know, Emily, that can really vary from county to county. You know, there are different regulations. By way of example, I'm going down to be with my family in New Jersey later this week on Thursday, and we'll be a group of 25 people. Now, all of us are vaccinated, and there's really no one there who's vulnerable, so we're not intending to test. But again, I think you just have to kind of gauge the situation. Another thing that's important is how much disease is there in the area. If not much disease is happening, and I just heard the report in Portland, things look pretty good, then I don't think you have to worry about it too much.
Great information there. Thank you, Dr. Kevin Ban from Walgreens. We appreciate you joining us on AM Extra this morning and giving us that important information.
Happy Thanksgiving.
To you too. And for more coronavirus coverage, including where you can go to get your COVID tests or a vaccine or a booster, just go to coin.com.